DMA stands for direct memory access. It is widely used in the cheating community. It is a piece of hardware that reads the memory and also can write memory of a game using two computers. In simple terms, it takes the code, reads it, finds info, and tells you in human language or writes back to the game things, for example, to find where people are in the game and other things. The cheat is on a second computer, which makes the anti-cheats unable to detect the cheat. DMA cheats use something called firmware to stay hidden. For example, go into Device Manager on your computer, you will see that you have all of these things on your computer. These things are just random stuff that your computer needs to be running. This is like mouse, keyboards, or it could also be, for example, a Wi-Fi card, which is used to get Wi-Fi on your computer and for Bluetooth and all that stuff. And what a DMA does, it hides as one of these. And the thing that DMA needs to become one of those is something called firmware. That is a thing that hides it. It's like paint, hiding yourself. It's like in the book Harry Potter, Invisible Cloak. It hides yourself so that the anti-cheats can't find you when they're searching through your computer. That's enough of me telling you guys. It's time for developer firmware and cheats to explain you guys what is a DMA. What is a DMA?
DMA is basically a card that you plug into your PC. You're able to read memory on your second PC. For retards, all you need to know is it's UD as fuck if you have good firmware and if your cheat is only reading memory. If your cheat's writing memory, well then, yeah, that's going to lead you to a potential chance of a ban. If you have a smart developer, he'll only be reading memory.
And what is firmware?
Firmware, basically, imagine you were a black man and you were in America and everyone was racist and you're walking down the street as a black man. They're going to racially abuse you. But when you flash your DMA with firmware, that black man is basically putting on white paint and now he looks like a white man. So the anti-cheat doesn't see you as a DMA card, it sees you as another real device.
How do DMAs get past the anti-cheat?
DMAs get past the anti-cheat because of firmware. Without firmware, you're getting a fast ban. If you're playing Valorant, make sure, well, a trick for Valorant, for VGK, it requires tricks. You need to use a legal config space. For EAC, the only thing they give a fuck about is legal config space. So if you're playing Fortnite and you care about Fortnite, do not get Valorant firmware. If your firmware supports Valorant, you're going to be fucked and you are going to receive a ban. And who likes a ban? Absolutely nobody.
And where did DMA originate?
DMA originated same place COVID-19 did, over in China, in a fucking lab. Well, DMA probably a sweatshop, but yeah.
And who started DMA?
Some fucking Chinese, I don't know, Xi Jinping or something. I don't really know. Laughing.
Man, what the fuck? Firmware is a black person who puts paint on.
Bro, we continue with the video.
Yeah,
This is a serious topic.
What do you need for a DMA?
Okay, so obviously you have the DMA card. This is to read memory. You have to have a DMA card to use any DMA cheat. And they're all basically the same, except Lurker and Immortal. Just don't buy these models. Just don't fucking buy them. So basically just buy the cheapest one you can find or buy a Captain DMA from Cyber Ammo because their support's really good and it's really fast in shipping. Anyway, that was my experience with them. KM box, you have the KM box, that's for your aimbot. You have the KM box B Pro or the net version. They're almost the same, but the B Pro is a bit more stable. But then again, the net is technically safer. It's more custom to that one individual that's using it. And they have a unique UUID IP port. So DMA card, KM box, you have to get these, just get these. And then you have the fuser. This is to combine the two images from the gaming PC and the radar PC. This basically to make your wall hack over your main monitor. You don't have to get this. It is a bit pricey, between 100 to 200 euros. You have the Captain DMA fuser. That's the fuser I'd recommend, as fusers have a lot of overheating issues, so also maybe have a fan. So if you want to just use wall hack, just buy a DMA plus firmware and you'll have like the wall hack on your second monitor, but you'll have no aimbot because you don't have a KM box. If you want aimbot only, just get your DMA and the KM box. If you want walls on your main screen, get the DMA fuser. If you want walls on your main screen and aimbot trigger bot, get the DMA fuser and KM box. And that's literally what you need. And then to be undetected, you need firmware. Now, firmware is the only risky part in regards to DMA. It's where you'll get your bans from. There's a lot of firmware sellers. There's a lot of retards that are selling firmware that shouldn't really be selling firmware. If you join a Discord called ENF, it's run by a guy called Eknode. He's really smart. He has a lot of firmware providers who are technically, well, not scammers, but sell shitty firmware. They're posted in there. So yeah, just chat in that server and I'm sure you'll find something nice to use. If you're playing Valorant, VGK, it checks for illegal config space and they require you to basically use it and to use tricks. EAC does not require this. They only check for legal config space. So basically what I'm saying, if you have a firmware that's UD on, or they sell it as UD on Valorant and EAC and B, just don't buy it if you're a Fortnite player, because being UD on Valorant will potentially cause you problems and bans on EAC games.
And how much does it cost to start using a DMA?
So a DMA card can be as low as like $60, I believe. I'll just check that. €42 is the price of a MVP DMA card. And then you can obviously get a Captain DMA 5th gen, which is a few €100, which is a bit of a rip-off, to be honest with you. I'd recommend a Captain DMA 3rd gen, to be honest. It's a nice price range in the, like, I believe it's 130 or 140. You can get that from Cyber Ammo and the shipping's fast as well. And it's a like reputable provider. KM box is in the ballpark at $30 to $50. And then a fuser, 100 to about $240. It just depends on what brands you're getting. All the shit, DMA, KM box, fuser, they all come from China. So they're in Chinese markets and it's basically people from America, people from EU, that kind of stuff are contacting these warehouses to resell. So obviously these resellers are the ones that are setting the prices for the Western world. So depending on what reseller you go to will depend on the price tag. But you can actually, if you want to do a little bit of research, you'll be able to find the warehouses in China and buy them for wholesale price. But if you want to contact a Chinese warehouse, good luck to you, because Chinese people are generally cunts to speak to.
And when did pros start using DMA?
Well, DMA was big on CSGO, Valorant, that kind of stuff, but before Fortnite, obviously, because yeah, it's just Fortnite, isn't it? But yeah, they've been using this for years, since like 2015, 2014, around that period. So they've been out for a very, very long time. It's just getting widely popularized. It was big over in China because obviously over in China and Asian countries, their laws are very different than over in Western world. So like to do with privacy and that kind of stuff, they don't really have laws for that. They needed other alternatives than software cheats because their privacy was just being invaded. Therefore, they were getting banned, so they had to find a different alternative. But people say DMA cheating, oh, it's UD, never banned. That's fucking bullshit. Every time you cheat, you have a risk of getting banned. DMA chance of getting banned is wildly reduced, but there is always a chance of ban. If you were to ever, if like a pro player or anyone who was not cheating was to contact me and say, yo, bro, I want to make money, should I start cheating? No, you do not start cheating to make money. You start cheating because you want to cheat and you enjoy cheating. If you're here to make money, there's way better ways to do it. So yeah.
Is there any pros that you think are using DMA?
Yeah, there's obviously good few pros. There's a few pros I know. Personally, I'm not going to speak too much on that. If you know a guy called Rylek, there was a guy called Pro Guy UD who actually said the exact same thing I said, but he's a fucking retard. But yeah, I will tell you, there obviously is people using it, but obviously I'm not going to come out here and slander people.
And that is the end of the interview. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.